Welcome everyone. Today we'll keep working on unit number 4, which is about consonant sounds, but we'll work on a different group of consonants, and they are fricative sounds and also affricate sounds. In previous lessons, we defined what a consonant sound is. We talked about the general features of consonants as opposed to vowel sounds, and we also spoke about the classification of consonant sounds according to different variables, like manner of articulation, place of articulation, and also voicing. Then we discussed the different combinations that consonants may have, and we delved into each one of the um, groups of consonant sounds in relation to the variable of manner of articulation. So the first group was plosive sounds. Today, we're going to discuss the characteristics of fricative sounds and affricate sounds. So let's start with fricative consonants. So let's remember what we know about these consonant sounds. As you can see, there are 9 fricative sounds, and just like plosives, they come in pairs in which one of the sounds is voiceless and the other one is voiced. They are called counterparts because they share some characteristics like the place of articulation, the manner of articulation, but the difference is in voicing. So let's see each one of them. These are f as in fun, v as in vote, th as in think, the as in this, s as in soap, z as in zip, k as in shoot, j as in vision, in the second syllable, vision, and the last one is h as in hot. So what is a fricative sound? Let's provide a definition from the phonetic point of view, or the point of view of articulation. Remember that whenever we say that we're going to describe a sound from the phonetic point of view, it means that we will describe its production, its articulation. So, a fricative sound is a consonant sound in the production of which the air escapes through a small passage, producing a hissing sound. Different from plosives, in whose production there's a complete obstruction and then a sudden release, in the production of fricatives, the stricture is partial, is not complete. And these sounds are called continuant sounds. And this means that we can produce them as long as we have air in our lungs. Um, Remember that plosives are called stops. You pronounce them in a very different way as the one in which you pronounce the fricatives, in which you can hold the sound as long as you have air in your lungs. You can say v, s, but you cannot do this with plosive sounds. H, h, h. Let's check some examples of words containing fricative sounds. Fox, vet, thing, they, vet, zoo, shape, leisure, whole. As I mentioned before, there are 4 pairs of fricative sounds in which one sound is voiceless and its counterpart is voiced. This is the first pair, the sounds f and v. So let's analyze the first one. The first sound in the word fun or fan. So regarding the manner of articulation, this is a fricative sound because it's a sound in the production of which the articulators come closer and the air escapes through a narrow passage, causing or making a hissing sound. So the manner of articulation is fricative. In relation to the point of articulation or the place of articulation, the articulators involved are the upper teeth and the lower lip. So it is called labiodental. And in this sound, in the production of this sound, there is no vibration of vocal cords. This is why the sound is called the voiceless labiodental fricative. Its counterpart, in the production of its counterpart, the first sound in the word vet, for example, there is vibration of the vocal cords. This is why it is called voiced labiodental fricative. In the articulation of the next pair of sounds, of fricative sounds, the organs involved are the teeth. So that is why they are called dental fricative sounds. But in the first case, the first sound in the word think or thing, there is no vibration of the vocal cords. That is why this sound is called voiceless dental fricative. Let's see its counterpart. The first sound in the word though or they. In this case, there is vibration of the vocal cords. This is why this sound is called the voiced dental fricative. In the articulation of the next pair of fricative sounds, the organs involved are the tongue and the alveolar ridge. Remember that the alveolar ridge is that bump behind your teeth, that heart structure behind your teeth. So that is why they are called alveolar fricatives. In the case of the first one, the first sound in the word soup, there is no vibration of the vocal cords. This is why this sound is regarded as voiceless alveolar fricative. Its counterpart is the first sound in the word zoo. In this case, there is vibration of the vocal cords, and this is why it's called voiced alveolar fricative. In the production of the next pair of fricative sounds, the front part of the tongue is raised towards the hard palate or the roof of the mouth, just behind the alveolar ridge. This is why these sounds are called post-alveolar fricatives. In the case of the first sound, as the first sound in the word shine, there is no vibration of the vocal cords. This is why this sound is called voiceless post-alveolar fricative. But in the case of its counterpart, the sound j, as in the first sound in the word genre, there is vibration of the vocal cords. This is why this sound is called the voiced post-alveolar fricative. The last fricative sound that we're going to describe is called the glottal fricative. This sound, which is the first sound in words like hut or hot, um, is produced in the glottis, and it is voiceless, but it takes the voicing quality of the following vowel or the vowel that it precedes. Now that we have described all fricative sounds, it is important to know that we can divide fricatives into those that are sibilant and those that are non-sibilant. Sibilant sounds are those consonant sounds that produce a hissing or a hushing noise when they are produced, and they are s, z, sh, zh. Now let's look at fricative sounds from the phonological point of view, that is, from the point of view of distribution, how sounds behave in a language system. Fricative sounds can occur in all positions except the glottal fricative, which cannot occur in word final position. This is the only restriction. Let's check some examples of the different fricative sounds in different positions. So, the first one is the voiceless labiodental fricative. file, graphic, enough. For the voiced labiodental fricative, vine, ev, cave. For the voiceless alveolar fricative, thick, basic, miss. For the voiced alveolar fricative, zip, busy, eyes. For the voiceless postalveolar fricative, ship, machine, fish. For the voiced postalveolar fricative, genre, vision, vase. For the glottal fricative, house, behind. As we said before, this sound does not occur in final position. For the voiced dental fricative, that, father, smooth. And for the voiceless dental fricative, thin, ethical, mouth. Let's move to Spanish fricatives now. As you can see, in Spanish, I mean peninsular Spanish, not Rioplatense Spanish, there are four fricative phonemes, and they are the first sound in the words foca, sapo, zapato, genial. We will not go deeper into this, but it's important to mention that in English there are phonemes that do not exist as phonemes in Spanish, but they do exist as allophones, or they occur as allophones. Let's take the example of the sound v, which it can occur in Spanish as an allophone of b. Let's take the example of best and vest. As you can see, the change in the phoneme implies a change in meaning. This is why these are phonemes in English. But in Spanish, we do not pronounce the labiodental fricatives in words like vaca. We say vaca or vaca, and the meaning is the same. So, v is a variation in pronunciation or an acceptable realization of a sound, that is to say, an allophone. So the meaning does not change whether you pronounce it in one way or the other. But in English, things are different, as you can see in the example of best and vest. Now let's move to a different group of consonant sounds, affricate sounds. These are two sounds in English. One of them is voiceless, like the first sound in the word change, and the other one is voiced, as the first sound in the word Japan. So, what is an affricate sound? Let's define it from the phonetic point of view. An affricate sound is a complex sound that begins as a plosive and ends as a fricative. Why do we say this? Because in the production of these sounds, the articulators move together, the air is compressed, just like in plosive sounds, but instead of releasing the air suddenly and causing plosion, the tongue moves to the position of a fricative sound. They are regarded as a combination of two homorganic sounds, meaning that they share the same place of articulation, and they consist of two symbols, but they only represent one sound. Let's check the examples. The first sound in the word church and the first sound in the word jack, jack. As we can see in this pair of affricate sounds, the articulators involved are the alveolar ridge and the hard palate. In the case of the first one, the voiceless one, there is no vibration of the vocal cords. That is why this sound is called the voiceless postalveolar affricate. In the case of its counterpart, the sound j, j, there is vibration of the vocal cords, and this is why the sound is called voiced postalveolar affricate. From the phonological point of view, we can say that affricate sounds can occur in all positions, in initial position, mid position, and final position. I'm sharing some examples of each. For the voiceless postalveolar affricate, chin, teacher, and bench. And for the voiced postalveolar affricate, we have jump, logic, edge. To conclude, let's check Spanish affricates. In Spanish, there is only one affricate phoneme, ch, as in pico, pica, chancho. But the English phoneme j occurs in Spanish, but not as a phoneme. It occurs as an allophone in words like, in an initial position in words like yo, lluvia, and also when they um, follow some nasal sounds, as in the word cónyuge.